Every trucker has one route they'll never drive twice. For some, it's a pass in the Rockies. For others, a stretch of desert in Nevada. For me, it was the 16-hour haul to a town called Old Creekwood. I didn't believe in ghosts. I believed in torque, horsepower, and caffeine. But old Miller believed. It was my first week with the company. I was young, cocky, and ready for the miles. As I was checking my oil before the trip, Miller, an old-timer who'd been driving that route for 30 years, walked up to me. He didn't say hello. He just reached out, tapped my shoulder, and leaned in. His breath smelled like stale coffee and fear. "Listen to me, Sam," he whispered, his voice cracking.
That road, it's a loop. If you see him once, keep driving. If you see him twice, pray. If you see him a third time, don't you dare close your eyes. Don't stop for anyone. And for the love of God, don't fall asleep.
I laughed it off. I thought it was just hazing the new guy. I ignored him, thinking he was just another burnt-out driver. I climbed into the cab, checked my mirrors, and pulled out into the rain. I was wrong. 6 hours in, the world turned gray. The abandoned highway was a ribbon of black glass-cracked asphalt, flanked by rotting pine trees. Through the sheets of rain, I saw a figure. A tall man in a vintage black suit, standing right on the white line. No umbrella, no raincoat. Just standing there as the storm lashed against it. I didn't slow down. I passed him in a blur. I remembered Miller's words, but I figured it was just a hitchhiker. I ignored him. An hour and a half later, I saw him again. My heart skipped. I looked at the speedometer, 75 miles per hour. There was no way he could have beaten me here. My heart did a slow roll in my chest. I was doing 75 and he was on foot. But there he was, standing in the exact same pose, 5 miles further down the road. Same black suit, same drenched silver hair. I gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. I kept driving. By the 10th hour, the sun had died completely. The rain was so heavy it felt like the truck was underwater. My headlights struggled to pierce the dark. And then, I saw him a third time. This time he was standing in the middle of my lane. I slammed on the brakes, the trailer fishtailing behind me, the tires screaming. I stopped inches from his chest. He didn't flinch, turned his head slowly, looking through my windshield. He looked me right in the eye. His face was like gray marble, lifeless, cold, and ancient. His eyes weren't eyes. They were just two deep, wet holes of shadow. My head felt heavy. The rain on the roof sounded like a lullaby. My chin hit my chest. The world began to blur. I gave myself a hard shake, and he was gone. The old man vanished. I started driving again, but after a few miles, the truck started making strange noises. It couldn't pick up speed. I pushed hard on the gas, but the engine groaned and died. I was freaked out. I tried to restart it, but it was cold. I looked at my phone. No signal. As I stared at it, the screen turned black. The battery was dead. Shit, I forgot to charge it. I screamed out loud. The night was pitch black. At the edge of my vision, I saw a red and blue neon sign floating. I started walking. My boots felt like lead in the mud. It felt like an eternity to reach the station. Motel and gas. A relic from the 50s, the paint peeling like dead skin. I walked into the lobby. An old man with skin like parchment turned around. "I need a room," I rasped. Without a word, he pushed a key across the counter. Key number 13. Then he wheezed.
"Stay inside." The man in black likes to settle his accounts at night.
I turned toward the hallway. There he was, sitting in a high-backed velvet chair in the corner of the lobby. The man in black. His suit was bone dry despite the storm. His head turned with a slow mechanical grind, watching me with that same eerie, silent expression. I bolted from my room, locked the door, and pushed a heavy oak desk in front of me. I collapsed onto the bed and fell into a deep, dark sleep. I woke up to the sound of sharpening steel. I tried to move, but I couldn't. A bright lamp was pointed directly into my eyes. I was tied to a chair with metal chains. Then I heard a voice. "Why didn't you stop the first time? Do you have any idea how hard it is to walk 35 miles in the heavy rain?" The voice grew louder, distorted. I started to scream at the peak of my lungs. Then someone tapped my shoulder and whispered in my ear. It sounded like Miller, but echoing.
Sam, wake up. This is not real. You're still driving. Sam, you're still on the road. It's a dream into a dream. It's a nightmare into another nightmare. The man in the black suit is doing this to you. You have to wake up.
I jolted awake. I was back in the truck, but it was tilted. I had drifted off the road and slammed into a tree. Rain was pouring through the shattered windshield. I reached for the radio, but the cord was cut. Clean. On the passenger seat. A note was pinned with a rusted nail.
"You're still tied to the chair."
My legs shaking and walked to the back of the rig. The heavy iron latch was vibrating. I pulled the handle. The door swung open. The trailer was empty, except for that same high-backed velvet chair. And sitting in it was Miller. His mouth was sewn shut with black thread. He pointed a trembling finger behind me. I turned around. The man in black was standing an inch from my face. He reached out with a cold, leather-clad hand and touched my throat. I closed my eyes in terror, and then I heard that voice again.
Sam, wake up. You're still on the road. Wake up.
I snapped awake. Truly awake. I was in the middle of the highway, my truck still running at 75 miles an hour. Heavy rain, no visibility. The man in black was gone, sweating, gasping for air, my hands gripping the wheel until they were numb. I checked my phone, 92% battery, plugged in, charging. The radio was playing normally. I didn't stop. I floored it, doing 95 all the way to Old Creekwood. I did the drop-off in silence and quit the next morning. I called the office and lied, saying the truck broke down and I couldn't drive it back. I booked a taxi to the nearest city, stayed in the trucking company's warehouse cabin for 38 hours straight, too afraid to sleep, and finally got picked up by another driver. I went home, took sleeping pills, switched off my phone, turned on the hot shower, and passed out in my bathtub for 2 days. The following Monday, I went to the office to officially resign. I asked the receptionist, Tina, about old Miller. "Oh, Sam," she said.
"We tried to call you, but your phone was off. There was an urgent delivery to Old Creekwood. The manager asked Miller to take it. He actually seemed happy about it. He said, 'Let's make it the last one for the old black man as well.'"
As I turned to leave, she told me my things were in the storeroom. I went back to collect my cardboard box of belongings. I was giving my things a quick run-through to see if anything was missing. I reached into the bottom of the box and pulled it out. A black leather glove, old, heavy, and soaking wet. It smelled of stagnant rain and old motels. On my way out, I threw it into the trash can and burned it down to ashes. As they say, once you burn it, it's never coming back until the doomsday. Sleep tight. Let us know your story in the comment section. If you like our video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.